3, 2, 1.
Why, hello. Hi, everybody. It's me, it's Graham. Welcome back. It's raining. You can probably see and hear that. Rainy day in White Rock. Welcome. It's my parents' house. It's my backyard. Spent almost my whole life here. You know, I guess I have spent my whole life here, I would say. Grew up here. Only house I've ever lived in. I don't know if that's interesting to anybody. Don't really know what this is supposed to be either. It's kind of just a mic check. Working with a new mic. Look at this. Ooh, fancy. It's got a sock on it. Looks kind of funny, I bet. But the thing with the sock that I learned about is it makes a great pop filter. You know, when I go pop and you hear the P's or the B's or anything like that, really softens the blow to the eardrums. And I was testing before I started recording this, and holy shit, it actually works. I was doing a couple of little pops to test without it, and I was like, God damn, this hurts my ears. But now it's a little bit softer, and I'm just trying to see, really, working with new technology here. A microphone instead of goddamn Apple headphone microphone. Those aren't good, not at all. I'm hoping this. I mean, it sounds nice in my ears right now. I got the whole setup going through the mic into the headphones. Let me see. Can I point this out to you guys? I don't know. Got the cord. Got the white cord here. That's headphones to my ears into the mic. And then we got the mic cord. This one goes way over the laptop, just out of view. Thank God it reaches this far, or else I don't know where I would put the laptop here. Oh hey, here's a better view of me. Graham, why are you sitting here talking? That's what you guys are probably wondering. And I want attention. Let's be honest, it's me. It's been too long. I'm not getting enough attention from people, so I had to get out here and just do something for myself, you know? A little bit of an attention whore. That's okay. I know that like 2 or 3 people listen to this, they'll be like, hey Graham, that was kind of funny when you were talking about wanting to talk. It's also the most Graham thing I've ever heard. I was originally going to call this segment, maybe I can still do it, maybe I can do an After Effects. You know, like it's like the shooting star kind of goes across the screen, and it spells out something. It was going to be Hanging with Graham. And that was it. If I figured out how to do it, I put that effect on screen. Shout out me if I figured that out. But yeah, so does anybody care? No. Oh fuck, I'm spinning. Bring me back. There we go. Here, maybe we can talk about this a little bit. I know we've been a little bit behind on our episodes for Out of Office. I wanted to put one out every week, and I think the girls wanted to as well. Like, we were all on the same page. We're like, this could be super cool. Gonna reunite friends. Gonna get everybody together. Chat. Hear from those people you haven't heard from in a long time. It was gonna be hashtag goals. It's gonna be exactly what I wanted. And obviously, we've put out maybe 2 episodes in the last month, and that is mainly just because we got busy. Anyways, now the assignments have started up. They have slowly been trickling in, and so as we've been trying to do this work, we realized that the workload is maybe a little bit higher than we thought. And also, I think when we initially started this, the world was looking quite a bit different. It was like, boom, COVID just hit and is destroying our entire planet. We're never going to see each other ever again. It's going to be months and months trapped inside, and that's 3 months ago, right? You know, we had March, we had April, we had May. We're now in June. I know it started like mid-March, but now it's mid-June, so I gotta say, I was not expecting things to be looking this good, all air quotes good, because we are in a bit of a bubble here on the West Coast. In Victoria for sure, but also just in British Columbia, we're doing so great. We've been managing this pandemic well, and so things have started to ease, and so we are really hoping to transition into in-person conversations, because being able to see my friends, your friends, our friends in person would make my day, especially the ones that I haven't seen since last April. I see y'all on Zoom, but that's not the same. Anyways, I'm planning to have a conversation with a good fellow friend, fellow member of the BCom program, Ethan Dempsey. Quick shout out, name drop, boom. Yeah, he's a longtime friend of mine. I won't get into it too much because I'd like to have that conversation with him. I think I might actually record that tomorrow. But yeah, hey, here's a backyard tour. Picnic table, lots of chairs. We got a new umbrella. I think that might be out of range, but my dad's been doing renos. He's been installing some hardwood, looking nice in here. We had carpet for the longest time. We used to have a dog, and oh my god, the carpet would get so dirty having the dog. She was crazy. A puppy till the day she passed, and she would just dig holes, go bananas, run around in the rain, run in the dirt, come inside. She'd come up to the glass door and try to come inside, and we'd be like, "Oh fuck no, get out of here." The kids have been trying to persuade the parents. I don't know if that's happened to you guys as well. You've had a family dog, maybe still with you, maybe passed. R.I.P. to any of the dead homies. We miss him greatly. You know, it's the way life goes, though. So maybe you've done some convincing to your parents about whether you should get another dog or not. I think my dad took her for a walk every single morning, and he left for work at like 6 a.m. So he's always up. Get the dog out. She's not so crazy all day. Anyways, back to the tour. We got a heat lamp here right behind me. Not bad. It actually works great in the winter and even in the summer when it's kind of cool at night. We have a fake fire pit that's below me here. I don't know if you probably can't see it, but works pretty nice. I've had some of the friends over here before. 2 garden beds way in the back, if you can see them. The one on the right, I actually just built for my mom the last time I was back here in April, right after co-op finished. We got our big hanging swing over there. That one's great, but it's seen some better days. So it's beat up a little bit. I don't know if you can see way over there. We got the yellow backboarded basketball hoop. Used to have that set up by the trampoline, which you can also maybe see. And yeah, we called it brim ball. It was like our version of basketball on the trampoline, because we used these they're like the dodgeballs, like not the rubbery ones, or yeah, like the rubbery ones, and not the ones that felt like they were foam. They were perfect because you could palm them. Because obviously, you're on a trampoline with a basketball hoop. You're going for some dunks, man. No, nobody's shooting that. Nobody's about to flick the wrist into the cookie jar to get that on the trampoline. You're going for a fucking dunk. You know how many backflip dunks I've made? 0. That's scary. You know how many front flip dunks I've made? Probably 4. Done some other crazy shit, some alley-oops, get the homies over here. I guess that kind of concludes the backyard tour, though. Got a pretty cool neighbor next door that way. Younger guy, wife, kid, cat. They moved in, probably like 8 years ago, something like that. And prior to them, in that house, drug dealers. This is not a joke. We legit had drug dealers living next to us. That it's funny how we even knew that. Like me and my sisters were even aware of that when we were, God, what does that make, like 14, 15, something like that. I guess that's kind of the age you would start to get to know these things. Smelt dank, 24/7. They were growing weed in there. Saw the cops go by that house a few times. This neighbor that way, Barbara, sweetest old lady. Like, she lived the entire time that we've lived here. Um, always just been the nicest old lady. Barbara would always come over to our families. We do an open house every year, every Christmas, and I know a lot of it's only recently come to my attention in the last few years that an open house is what people do when they're selling a house and they're moving, like leaving. We just always called it the open house, so that's what I was used to. But we basically just invite all the family and the friends over to have a little potluck, hang out. Um, Funny story, actually. Sorry, let me back this up. This is actually a decent story. We have our last final exam in Copenhagen. The last one. It's a little bit later than the other ones. I think I wrote 2 or 3 of them around like the 13th, 14th, and then this last one was on the 21st. We we write the exam. Everything's good. Go for like a little happy hour, drink, celebrate our last exam. I was with Ayla and Sophie and Taylor. Shout out these ladies. Loved that we were in Copenhagen together. Great little squad. So we go have our beverage. We go home. Go our separate ways. And so I'm leaving the next morning after this final exam. I think we wrote it at like 1 p.m. sort of thing. And so I'm packing up my dorm. I'm living in a student dorm, small, self-contained, had my own kitchen, bathroom sort of thing. Fuck how expensive Copenhagen is to live. This was like this was basically a shoebox. It had some decent space, but I was paying like 1,300 a month, something like that. I'm like, what? It's literally double what I pay in Victoria. Cannot afford that. But 4 months, why not? Love the city. Anyways, so I'm packing up the place. It's getting later. I'm supposed to say goodbye to some of my friends in the city. And I'm not going to see them for a while after that. It was like goodbye Europe. It was the end. I left the next day. So a couple of my friends, they came by my room. They chilled out. We had a drink while I'm packing. Then night goes on, and it's now, what time is it? It's probably like 11 p.m. and I'm still packing. And I completely underestimated how much work this was going to take to pack up my entire room. I'm like, it's a small room. I can see everything in here. I know what I'm doing. First problem was not realizing how many things I had bought while over there. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough that I was already at max capacity coming over to Europe. Eventually, the packing's going good. I have to also like clean the room too, because it's supposed to be ready, quote unquote, for someone else to move in. I'm sure they clean it after us, but they tell us that we had to, or else they're going to take our cleaning fee deposit, something like that. To put this in perspective is that my flight the next morning is at, I believe, 7 a.m. out of Copenhagen. I live about a half an hour metro from the airport. If I leave my door to get to the airport, probably takes like 40 minutes, something like that. So plus, if I was about to go on an international flight. Like, yes, I had to connect in Frankfurt, but it was going back to Canada. Basically, 7 a.m. flight, international flight, have to be there about an hour and a half, 2 hours early. This is also, I'm not fucking missing this flight. It's my flight back home after 4 months. So I'm like, I need extra time. I'm going to get there a full 2 hours ahead, which means leaving 3 hours ahead. So that meant for my 7 a.m. flight, I was leaving at 4 a.m. from my student dorm. And it's now gotten to be like 12, 1 a.m. and I got to leave in 3 hours. And I'm just about done cleaning. And so I finish up the cleaning. I look at the clock. It's like fucking 2 a.m. I'm like, oh God. Mind you, this is the same day that I just wrote my last final exam. I make the decision, executive call, good call? In the grand scheme, yes, but I stayed up. I did not sleep because I'm like, I will sleep on the flight. Sleep when I'm dead, you know what I'm saying? So I stay up. I'm almost falling asleep at like 3, and I'm like, that would have been bad. Like a 1 hour nap, that's when I probably would have slept in and not made it to the airport in time. But I stayed up, hit the road 4 a.m., made it to the airport. I get on the first flight. That's it's only whatever, hour and a half, 2 hours to Frankfurt. Make that flight. I arrive. I do my little changeover. I head to my next gate, and this is the time when it's like it's very hard for me to not fall asleep like in the airport because I'm sitting, I'm waiting. It was maybe a 1 hour layover kind of thing because I think it was 7 a.m. flight out of Copenhagen to Frankfurt, and then the one in Frankfurt left at like 10 a.m., something like that. So a little bit of a layover. Anyways, I get on the second flight. That's going to be the whatever, the 10-hour flight back home to North America. And so this second flight is going Frankfurt all the way to YVR. It's not stopping anywhere else in Canada, nothing East Coast, nothing Central. So I start making the flight all the way over, and so now that I am on this second flight, it's actually the morning in Europe, but it's just starting to be the evening in North America. And I've just stayed up all night, completely messed up my sleep schedule, but perfect opportunity for me to sleep through the entire flight on the way home, the whole like 9-10 hours, because if I do sleep through the whole thing, then that means that I will have slept through the night in North America home time, and then by the time I get up on the flight, like wake up and the flight's over and arrived in Vancouver, it would actually be the morning in Vancouver. So even though I stayed up all night in Copenhagen, the last night I was there, to pack, to get ready, to head out early as fuck in the morning, I did sleep for, I swear to God, like 7 hours of that flight home from Europe, which I don't sleep on planes. This was a miracle. And so I arrive, my family picks me up. You know what the first thing I did when I got back to Canada was? I went to fucking Tim Hortons. You fucking know it. I got my half coffee, half French vanilla. Absolutely OP combo. If you guys are looking for something new to get from Tim's, like half coffee, half French vanilla. Perfect mix. Been craving it for literally 4 months since I left. And so stopped by Tim's with my family. My grandma even came. Shout out her. And then we drive home, get back to this house that I'm at right now. Just back from Europe for 4 months. And you know what day it is? It's the goddamn open house. It is the day that I come back from Europe. My family is having our annual open house literally the night that I get back. So I've just wrote a final exam, stayed up all night packing, caught a fucking 7 a.m. flight from Copenhagen, and actually one of the funniest things, catch that 7 a.m. flight from Copenhagen, I got back to Vancouver at like 11 a.m. Same day, because you know you're time traveling, you're going backwards. So so yeah, I managed to fly all the way. It took me 4 hours to get home from Europe, basically. That's what I'm trying to say, is I'm a time traveler. I'll teach you my secrets. But the rest of my family and friends, they kind of arrive at like 5 p.m. We're socializing. Everyone's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you so long. I survive until maybe like 8 p.m. and then I just fucking crash because it was not long enough sleeping on the plane with like the whole sleep schedule flipping. So I go to bed at like 8 p.m. Wake up the next morning. I actually slept through the whole night, surprisingly. Woke up the next morning at like 10 a.m. God, how many hours of sleep is that? That's like 16 hours? That's stupid. Oh no, that's bad. 14 hours. Sorry, bad at maths. So yeah, that was my experience coming back. I don't know how I started this story, but if you've listened this long, thank you. I don't even know if I'm putting this out or not. I gotta talk to the girls. I feel like they're gonna be like, Graham, we can't just let you talk. There's other co-hosts. People want to hear other guests. They don't want to hear you fucking talking to a sock for half an hour, telling some stupid ass story about flying, time traveling. He talked about his family in his backyard for a little bit. Thanks for listening to this episode of Out of Office. If this goes up, cool. Share it with your friends, your family. Not your family. I take that back. Don't share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Get the rest of our program listening to this shit, because like we got like 140, 150 listens on like our Cope episode. A great episode, by the way. Good pilot, but there's more of us in our program than that. We're trying to reach everybody. So yeah. This has been, I guess, Hanging with Graham. Shout out to the rain. Shout out to you listening. Shout out to creative process and working out the kinks. I think we all got room to improve, and this is one of the early steps. Yeah, and that's about it. Signing off. Goodbye, everybody. Until next time.